Welcome back to the NBC News channel, where today we take an extended journey into the emotional and dramatic currents flowing through Salem on the November 12th episode of Days of Our Lives DOOL. This chapter is rich with heartfelt moments, family celebrations, and escalating tensions that reveal the depth and complexity of the beloved characters navigating their intertwined lives. Let's explore each narrative thread with fresh elaborations and new insights to capture the full magnitude of the unfolding drama. Marlena Evans, one of Salem's most cherished and resilient figures, finds herself overwhelmed by a surge of emotional weight. The happiness brought by a warm baby shower for the DiMera family starkly contrasts with the heaviness of an upcoming announcement about John Black, her lifelong partner and rock. The loss of John leaves Marlene grappling with grief that still lingers in every corner of her life. This emotional turmoil is not simply a momentary reaction, but a profound reckoning with the void left behind. As the episode progresses, Marlene reaches her emotional breaking point, unable to contain the flood of memories, sorrow, and love she still holds. Yet, her pain is met with the unwavering support of her family. Sami Brady steps in, bringing her own complex history of hardships and triumphs, offering comfort that is as much about shared strength as it is about solace. Alongside Sami, Marlena's grandson, Will Horton, arrives poised to provide his caring presence, symbolizing the unbreakable thread of family that binds generations together. Their collective support demonstrates that while Marlena's grief is immense, she is enveloped by those who cherish and sustain her. On a lighter note, the celebrations in Salem take center stage as Sami Brady throws a lovingly planned baby shower for Chanel Dupree DiMera and Johnny DiMera's newborn son, Trey DiMera. This joyous event is more than just a party, a vital moment of unity and hope amid the tumult of the DiMera family's complicated history. Trey's arrival has injected new life and optimism, and Sami's efforts to create a memorable celebration underline her enduring commitment to family solidarity. The baby shower is filled with warmth, gifts, and laughter, serving as a potent reminder that new beginnings are always possible, even when shadows loom large over Salem. This gathering also reaffirms the bonds forged through trials, with the family rallying around young Trey as a symbol of renewal and love. The story takes another turn with the return of Lonnie Price Grant and Eli Grant to Salem. Their homecoming is charged with emotional intensity as they confront the tangled conflicts that have grown during their absence. Central to their storyline is the escalating tension between Abe Carver and Paulina Price involving their son, Theo's career path. Abe's insistence on controlling Theo's future vehemently opposing Theo's involvement with DiMera Enterprise collides with Paulina's more permissive stance, encouraging independence and personal growth. Lonnie steps into this delicate family feud with a compassionate perspective, urging Abe to appreciate Paulina's wisdom and the reasons behind Theo's choices. This subplot carefully explores themes of parental control versus personal freedom, illustrating the challenges families face in encouraging young adults to make their own decisions. Lonnie's role as mediator offers a refreshing glimpse of empathy and understanding, encouraging Abe to loosen his grip and respect Theo's autonomy, thereby mending fractured family ties before irreparable damage occurs. Turning to the investigative tension gripping Salem, Rafa Hernandez faces ominous warnings that threaten to upend his efforts to dismantle E.J. DiMera's criminal activities. Recently partnered with Kat Green, whose own personal struggles add complexity to their alliance, Rafa is blindsided by troubling news that raises the stakes. One possibility is the resurgence of the notorious Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, whose return would herald chaos and renewed danger. Complicating matters further, Kat Green experiences a troubling memory awakening tied to EJ's comatose state in Italy, recalling moments that could potentially jeopardize their investigation. Rafe's unease grows, especially if Kat's connection to EJ hints at undisclosed loyalties or threats. This storyline infuses the episode with suspense, weaving mystery and danger seamlessly into Salem's fabric and reminding viewers that beneath the surface of everyday life, secrets and dangers lurk. Together, these intertwined plots form a rich narrative fabric that balances profound emotion with moments of levity and drama. Marlena's poignant struggle, set against the joyous backdrop of Trey's baby shower, highlights the duality of life in Salem: grief and celebration. The family dynamics involving Lonnie, Abe, and Paulina offer a compelling look at conflict resolution and generational perspectives. Meanwhile, Rafe's tense investigative path underscores the enduring themes of justice and peril that keep viewers captivated. This episode promises to be a pivotal chapter for Days of Our Lives, filled with emotional resonance, character growth, and suspenseful entanglements that have consistently made the show a standout in daytime drama. As these stories unfold, viewers are reminded of the resilient spirit that defines Salem, where love and loyalty ultimately strive to overcome the darkest challenges. Part 2. Days of Our Lives. Sami's shocking engagement, old wounds, new secrets, and the return of dangerous ties. Tuesday, November 11, 2025. Salem, that small town with a big heart and even bigger secrets, finds itself shaken once again as Sami Brady drops a bombshell that leaves both Lucas and EJ reeling. But that's just the beginning of a day packed with heartbreak, confessions, and revelations that could rewrite the future for several of Salem's most beloved families. Sami's shocking reveal. It's another typical evening at the Brady pub, at least until Sami walks in. Lucas is sitting at the bar, trying to find comfort in a glass he probably doesn't need. He's been avoiding her ever since Kate warned him that Sami would be back in town. He's been through enough guilt to last a lifetime, and seeing her again was the last thing he wanted. But fate, as always in Salem, has other plans. When Sami walks through the door, the air shifts. She's glowing, confident, radiant, and undeniably happy. She's looking for her father, but she already knows Roman isn't there. What she doesn't expect is to lock eyes with Lucas. Their history hangs between them like a heavy curtain: love, betrayal, kidnapping, heartbreak, all the things that make a Salem romance unforgettable. Lucas can barely form words. Then he sees it, the diamond on her finger. It's not subtle, it's a declaration. A new chapter. Engaged? He asks, his voice trembling between disbelief and resignation. Sami nods with a soft smile. Yes, Lucas, I'm engaged. And no man has ever made me happier. The words cut deeper than she intends. Lucas forces a smile. It's strained, but genuine enough to hide the pain underneath. You deserve it, he says quietly. They talk awkwardly at first, then honestly. Sami admits that while they'll never be best friends again, she does forgive him for kidnapping her and blaming EJ. There's no anger in her eyes anymore, only a kind of peace that comes from acceptance. She knows Lucas is sorry, and she's ready to move on. It's an emotional, bittersweet moment. Two people who once burned bright together now stand in the ashes, acknowledging that love, no matter how deep, sometimes has to stay in the past. Meanwhile, in the Demera Empire, across town, EJ Dimra's office hums with tension. Kat, his sharp, quietly observant assistant, knocks gently before walking in. She's been unsettled all morning, still thinking about the accident involving young Thomas. She can't shake the feeling that she somehow caused it. She overhears EJ on the phone with Kayla, who assures him that Thomas will recover. Still, guilt eats away at Kat. She blames herself for the boy's distraction. After all, Thomas saw her hugging Chad, and it clearly upset him. EJ, ever the composed Demera, reassures her. It wasn't your fault, he says firmly. If anyone's to blame, it's Clyde Weston. At the mention of Clyde's name, both fall silent. That man has been a shadow over too many Salem lives. EJ's tone softens. We've all been hurt by him. Don't carry guilt that isn't yours. Kat nods, though the weight doesn't quite lift. She leaves the office, still haunted by the idea that small moments can lead to big consequences in Salem, and that sometimes the past refuses to stay buried. A reunion that sparks old feelings. Moments after Kat leaves, EJ looks up to find someone else at his door: Sami Brady. Their eyes meet, and for a brief moment, time seems to rewind. There's history there, fiery, messy, intoxicating history that never quite dies. They exchange polite words, pretending to be civil, but the tension between them hums just beneath the surface. Sami tells him she's planning a baby shower for Johnny and Chanel. I wanted to tell you personally, she says, so you don't ruin it. EJ raises an eyebrow, half amused. You think I'd ruin a baby shower? With you? I never know, she fires back with a grin. Then she drops the second bombshell of the day. Also, I'm engaged. EJ's expression tightens. To whom? Dante Vitali, she says proudly. He's Ava's cousin. EJ stares at her, disbelief crossing his face. A Vitali? Sami, that family. She cuts him off before he can finish. Dante doesn't even know about the family's criminal side. His branch of the Vitalis stayed in Italy. He's a good man, EJ. He doesn't look convinced. Once a Vitali, always a Vitali. You're marrying into trouble whether you admit it or not. Sami laughs lightly, though her voice trembles ever so slightly. "You just can't stand that I moved on." "Moved on," he counters coldly. "Or are you marrying him to prove that you've forgotten me?" Her smile fades. "Jealousy doesn't suit you, EJ. Maybe that's why you weren't invited to the baby shower." He smirks, but there's no real humor in it. "I'll make a bet you won't make it down the aisle." Sami stands tall, meeting his gaze head-on. "That vengeful streak of yours is exactly why you'll be watching from the sidelines. And by the way, Rafe's little T's honorary grandfather now. Thought you should know." The door closes behind her with a quiet finality, leaving EJ alone in his office and for the first time in a long while, genuinely uncertain about his place in Sami's world. Kat's memory returns. Later that afternoon, Kat walks through Horton Square, lost in thought. She's been struggling all day with an odd sense of déjà vu since she first met her new boss's ex-Sami. Something about Sami's face, her voice, her defiant spirit, seemed familiar from the start. Then it hits her a flash of memory. She remembers seeing Sami years ago, back when she was working at a charity event in Chicago. Sami had been there with EJ, laughing, radiant, and utterly in control of the room. Kat had been impressed by her even then by her strength, her fire. Now it all makes sense. She recognized Sami because Sami has always been unforgettable. The realization makes Kat uneasy. Working for the DiMeras is complicated enough without getting emotionally invested in their tangled histories. But in Salem, it's impossible to stay detached for long. Everyone's lives seem to intertwine sooner or later. Jennifer's secret mission. While all this is happening, Jennifer Horton quietly continues with her own plans, one she's kept carefully hidden from the rest of the Horton family. She's been working behind the scenes to secure the future of Chad's children. Losing Abigail shattered her, and in her grief, she's decided she won't lose another generation of Hortons to chaos or neglect. She's been meeting with lawyers, organizing trusts, and even considering a custody claim if Chad's situation with the DiMera family spirals out of control again. Julie has tried to talk her down, reminding her that love, not control, is what the Horton legacy was built on. But Jennifer's pain runs deep, and so does her determination. Philip's panic. Elsewhere in town, Philip Kyriakis is pacing his office at Titan, clearly on edge. Rumors about corporate espionage have been swirling, and he's convinced that someone close to him is feeding information to the DiMeras. His paranoia isn't new, but this time, it feels justified. He's received an anonymous message warning him that a deal he's working on is about to be sabotaged. Whether it's business or personal, Philip's reaction is the same: panic. He calls Chloe, but she doesn't answer. He calls Brady next, only to hang up before the call connects. Old rivalries, new fears, the cycle never ends for the Kyriakis clan. Suzanne Rogers, a real-life battle. Away from the fictional drama of Salem, Days of Our Lives fans have been living through their own emotional roller coaster. Just a month after Suzanne Rogers, who plays the beloved Maggie Horton, revealed her stage 2 colorectal cancer diagnosis, she returned with an update that offers both relief and inspiration. She shared that she's doing well, surrounded by friends, family, and colleagues who have rallied around her. Lindsay Godfrey Sarah Horton recently spoke about the deep bond she shares with Suzanne, a bond that has been both a source of comfort and strength. Lindsay revealed that Suzanne's quiet courage and humor never wavered, even in her hardest days. "She's more than a co-star," Lindsay said tearfully. "She's family. We all learned from her how to face fear with grace." Fans around the world have flooded social media with messages of love and support, proving that Maggie Horton isn't just a character, she's a symbol of resilience for generations of viewers. Closing thoughts, old loves, new battles. As the day ends in Salem, emotions run high. Sami's engagement sparks jealousy and disbelief. EJ wrestles with ghosts of love lost. Kat comes face to face with her own memories, and Jennifer quietly plots to protect her family. It's a reminder that in Days of Our Lives, life is a cycle of endings and beginnings, love rediscovered, secrets unearthed, and hearts forever entangled. For the people of Salem, nothing stays buried forever. And for fans watching from home, it's another unforgettable chapter in a saga that continues to mirror the complexities, the heartbreaks, and the triumphs of life itself.